How do? And welcome back. It's been a few weeks. Boy, I've been busy. I'm looking forward to this. This is a Wilko Canadian Ale. So cheers. Very nice. Very light. Uh, Not much flavour. Nice and dry at the back. A little bit of sweetness up front. But it's very thirst quenching. So yeah, I've been really busy with one thing and another. 'Cause of course I've mentioned about my mother. That's still ongoing, and I'm also trying to finish some jobs around the house before we go on holiday, which is next week. We're going to Croatia, and hence I thought I'd just make a quick video to try out this new microphone, because I thought I'd take the camera, well, the telephone, obviously I'll be taking it with me, but I thought I'd doing some videos from Croatia, like I did in Madrid, and maybe show you some of the sights of Zagreb, which is their capital city. Usually we go on the coast. We've been several times to Croatia. We love it. But this time we thought we'd try something different, and so we're going to the capital city, which is meant to be beautiful. So I thought I'll take a microphone and see if we can do some vlogging from Zagreb, which will be nice. I brewed this with Lutra, and boy, if you haven't tried Lutra, you want to give it a go. It's just an amazing yeast for this style of beer. These very light styles of beer, where you don't really want the yeast flavouring, you just want a nice clean tasting beer, and Lutra leaves no trace at all. No yeasty flavours, no esters, nothing. Just really clean. And because of that, as soon as it's carved, you can start drinking it. It doesn't, I mean, it'll improve with age, with conditioning, but you can dive in as soon as as soon as the bottles are conditioned, carved. You can just start drinking, and yeah. If you've not tried it, I really recommend Lutra for these sort of light lagery type beers. It's my go-to actually for that style. But boy, have I been busy. Well, you've seen my workbench. I think I showed that in the last video, or the one before that. Hence all my tools are starting to disappear from behind me, because I'm finding places for them nearer the bench. Well, I've got a vise for it now, so I'm going to start doing some woodwork projects around the house. Obviously, I've built the veranda. Well, I want to expand that now, as you do. It's only about a metre, 1.2 metres wide. So I want to, I've got room for another metre. So I'm going to build some supports and just extend it out a little bit more. So that's another project. And I've got two other projects on the go. There's one I do want to talk to you about. But first, this is another project I've just started, which is renovating a 93-year-old jazz guitar that was handmade in London in 1929 for professional jazz band musicians. So this would have been played in a jazz band in London in the 1930s, 1929 and 1930s, because the company that make it only made them for professionals. And when it was made in 1929, they cost £30. And I did a little bit of looking on the internet to find what £30 in 1929 would cost today. And it's nearly £2,000 to buy brand new. So that's how much these cost in our terms back in 1929. So they were made for professionals. and they're handmade, they're hand carved. It's what's called an archtop guitar. So it's like a cello body. They've got the F holes and it's arched. It's arched this way and it's arched this way, and they're hand carved. Today, there's not many companies making arch tops these days, and when they do, they actually press them in a machine. But back in 1929, they actually carved them by hand with very little. They call them like violin makers planes, little tiny planes, and they just chip away. So I've taken the top off already. I've started the project actually, and I've took the back off because there was a big, huge crack down here, and so I've fixed that. I've glued it back together with wood glue, and I've cleated it here as well. And there's also a crack there which I cleated, and here as well. So this top is actually ready now to go back on the guitar. But I'm not rushing it. I'm just doing one step at a time, thoroughly researching each step because I'm new to this, and I don't want to stuff it up because, well, it's an old guitar. It's nearly 100 years old, and quite an expensive guitar in its day. So that's one project I'm doing. But the other project, which I'm really interested in, and what I'd like your help with maybe is I'm going to write a book. Now, I've written a book in the past, but it was about management, and it's out of print now, thankfully, because it was crap. But I did write a book actually, and I got it published, and it was used at A-level studies actually for that's like our high school sort of studies, pre-university studies, and it was used in some of the colleges and schools for that purpose. But yeah, that's out of print now. But I know how to write a book. So what I want to do is write a book about extract brewing, because there's not that many. Most of the books are actually about all grain brewing, or, well, all grain brewing basically, because there's no books about kit. So what I wanted to do is write a book about extract brewing and focus on the process. So the majority of the book will be about process, about the equipment you need, how to look after your equipment, sanitation, but also about the ingredients, going into a bit of science about yeast metabolism, how to keep yeast, how to look after it, how to create a nice environment in the wort for your yeast. And then, of course, looking at malts and dry malt extracts, obviously, how they dry extract, how they dry the malt to make the extract, and hops. And so that'll be the bulk of the book, really, because I want it to be more about process, because I believe that, if you don't get, you can have the best recipe in the world and the best ingredients, but you can ruin the beer if you don't have a good process whilst you're brewing. So the majority of the book is on process, but then I'm going to include something like 6 or 12 recipes to get people started. So it's for beginners. How you can brew extract beer, on your stovetop in your kitchen with a big stock pot like I used to. And then I'll give some recipes, and each one will focus on a different style. So there'll be like a pseudo lager. There will be, because obviously a beginner's not going to have an incubation fridge. I don't have an incubation fridge. Not incubation, fermentation fridge. So it'll be a pseudo lager. And then I'm thinking of doing like IPA, American Pale Ale, an English bitter, just different styles, maybe a Belgium, a Belgium ale. And if you can come up with some suggestions or recipes that I can include in the book, that'll be great. And obviously, you know, you'll get your name mentioned in it as well because you created the recipe. But I do want to actually brew the recipes, obviously, before I put them in the book. And that's why, really, I want to do this, because I just want to get some motivation back for actually doing, you know, boils, do some extract brewing. Because I've been so busy, I've been relying on kits for so long, I've sort of like got out of the habit. And so I thought, well, I'll get this book and that'll give me a good motivation to start getting the kettle out again and start boiling. So yeah, if you can come up with some recipes, if you want to donate some recipes, extract beers, you know, just drop us a comment down below, and I'll brew them up. And if they get in the book, you'll get your name in there as well. And yeah, I'm really excited actually. I'm really excited. I think it'll probably take me about 12 months because I've got to have to write it, but I also want to brew everything as well to make sure that you know, it's a good beer. So that's my main project. That's my big announcement. Uh, but hi. Anyway, I'm going to carry on drinking this now. And it's coming up for dinner time soon, so I'll finish this and go in for my dinner. Hope this microphone's working okay. And then I'll probably see you next time from Zagreb, hopefully. So that'll be fun. Cheers, and thanks for watching. As always, I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now.